Hey, what's up, guys? And welcome to the Mystic Shot Podcast. I'm your host, We the People, and we're just going to jump straight into the podcast. Enjoy.
Time for a true display of skill.
Hey, what's up, guys? Mystic Shot Podcast.
You know it?
It's number 3. Coming in strong.
Hat trick.
Got these spoilers here today. We got a whole bunch to talk about. So, we got the usuals. We got Swerve here.
What's going on, everybody?
And we got Mr. Gomez.
Hello, how you do?
So, hope everybody's feeling good. And I hope hope everybody's ready to dive into
Of course, we're feeling good.
You seen the? I know everybody's feeling good because they seen these spoilers. I know last week. I feel like if you see the episode between this week and last week, we were like, where are the spoilers? Like, oh my god, I don't even know the spoil. Like we were.
And then they hit before the episode hit.
Right?
We sound foolish. The episode aired I don't know, it was 4 hours after the first card reveal.
Mm-hmm. I felt like in that episode we felt like addicts. We were like, yo, where the spoilers at? Like, yo, are they gonna give us spoilers? But nah, they finally choked. And they gave us some spoilers, guys. So we're gonna get into it. But first, we're gonna do our pick a card for the week. So
Favorite, least favorite, right?
Yep. So who trying to go first? I know.
I'll jump in. I'll jump right in.
I know. Last week Gomez went first.
All right. My favorite card for this past week is my little buddy Petty Officer. The value that this card has been generating for me lately has been awesome, and it got a little bit nerfed because the urchin rework, so you couldn't high roll to an urchin and get that free card on death. But it's just so good. It's so good. It never feels bad to have that card in your hand. Ever.
You say those words, but so many times I've played it, and then when you had eat the trash, and he just throws like 3 of my cards. That's not what I wanted right now. Oh my God, I'm not playing a deep deck. Trash. Exactly.
And then you
just watch my good cards leave.
No, I understand. I understand your pain with that. I can get it, but it's just a feels bad moment. It's a low roll. And you have to remember that most of the time when you roll that and you're playing Petty Officer, you weren't going to see those 3 cards anyway. You just have to try to remember that. That's all you can do. And it pushes your champions a little further up. We got to remember that because you're not tossing the champ cards.
And also, the plus side as well is, I guess, with the new region and with things like that, there's going to be new 1-drops. So actually, your chances of drawing that is actually going to be less as well, going into the future of them.
yeah. Petty Officer only gets better when new regions come out. Actually, it only gets better.
Yeah, I've been playing that card. I've been playing that card since the beginning of Bilgewater, even when it was a 3/1. Then they buffed it. I was like, what?
Wait, how many times of a Petty Officer have you got a cutthroat? Or what's that one shot from Shadow Owls? The one that turns into a 3/3?
Oh, Bark Beast, yes.
Oh, Bark Beast, yeah. How many times have you gotten that? Yo, that seems crazy AF.
Enough times to make that my favorite card of the week. I love that card.
It's a good card.
Nah, it's just excellent value. You can't really go wrong. And I value flexibility in cards a lot, so... you can drop the barrel too if you got some spells in hand to utilize.
Oh, definitely a very versatile minion or card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Least favorite though, we're gonna rewind to last week. I'm gonna do my best Gomez.
Yeah, go for it.
Netherglade Collector.
It's a good impression. To be fair, I can understand why people hate him. I loved him. I loved him last week. It's really good.
I hate him so much. I can't say anything else about it. It's just it pisses me off.
He's a good card, and just where his health stat is it's harder to remove. Because obviously, like spell wise, it's harder to remove. Obviously, like the way that he mostly gets removed is with making him vulnerable, or he gets frostbitten by Sejuani, and like so gets given vulnerable and then taken. Yep. But he's a very hard minion to remove, and just value because no one you never attack with him. Just leave him on the bench, and he does his work from the bench.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, but that card just annoys me. Just move on. Gomez, go ahead.
Okay, right. So, favorite card of the week, because I've been like having fun more than like worried about features. I'm actually gonna say it's the token card, Treasure Trove. Honestly, the amount of times you get that, and then just, you never know what the 5 cards are gonna be, and sometimes you're like, yes. Don't get me wrong. Other times you're like, no, but so yes.
He is a goddamn RNG lord, yo.
I feel we should have set some rules before.
Well, if we're gonna say you can't use token cards, then the bloody shipwreck guy who makes it.
Oh man, Treasure Trove is a funny card, yo.
Yeah, it's very funny. I understand why you like it, and I like it for all the same reasons. It's just, how dare you?
I mean, it's. I love that. I love that kind of card in a game like this. That's what I'm saying. You never know what you're gonna get, and it also puts the opponent on edge because they don't know either. I will say the worst matchup I had that was when I knew that the guy most likely had Ruination, but I needed to play it because I was out of options. If I just passed the turn, then he could have just attacked forward. I had nothing on board, so I needed to see if I could find a way. And sadly, I did not. But the chance was there. It was my best chance. It was a hope. But sadly, it didn't pay off for me then. But I really do love that card because it can pull surprising things out of nowhere. There was actually a guy who posted on Reddit who used Treasure Trove and actually did get Dreadway and Ledros.
No way.
Yeah. So that's both those for 0, and then just they're done.
That's weird.
That's funny, man.
It's random. You never know what the hell it's going to be. That's why I like that card so much. In terms of least favorite, I'm actually I'm struggling this week because there's not really been a card that I've had too much problem against. Potentially, I'm just gonna say Vengeance, just because sometimes that card can just come out and just when you think that you've just perfectly started to place things in place, and then that just comes out, just takes out one of your key things, and there's not you've got nothing back to deal with it.
Yeah, because Vengeance is the kid that comes over and just kicks over your Lego house that you just built.
It's literally the only real thing that you can do, unless obviously it's targeting a fizz. But who the hell Vengeance a fizz? Because I mean, you're never gonna hit.
Crazy.
I don't even try.
You crazy as fuck.
I mean, the only thing that can really stop it because there's no way you can buff a minion past it or anything like that. The only thing you really do is deny. But if you're not playing Ionia, then they know that there's no massive risk of playing it, and so
you're at their win. If you're not playing Ionia, you're at their win. It's just when are they gonna play it?
Because the only other thing is Recall as well, I guess. But again, that would be Ionia. So
if
you're not really playing that, then
miss call maybe. That's about it. Yeah, a couple other ways to play around it. The only thing you can do against Vengeance is just try to get value elsewhere.
Yeah. So that's the only card that I've had problems with this week when it's just come out. I've been like, oh, I really wanted that, but it does take a lot of their mana. It's actually I've got no problem with the actual card. It's a balanced card, but it's annoying when it happens. That's just been my annoying card of the week.
Feel that? I can feel that.
All right. So for me now, all right, I've gone back to playing Endure, guys.
I mean, it can work. I got into master. I can't go against the Endure.
I have more of a control list though. I'm playing like Ruination. I'm playing Vengeance.
Okay.
SMH.
I'm playing your boy Neverglade Collector.
Cool.
So my least favorite card. Well, no, let's talk about my favorite card this week first. So my favorite card for this week is definitely, I think it's been Blighted Caretaker, 100%.
I feel that
clutch every time. I feel like every time I play a Blighted Caretaker, she's doing so goddamn much. Like, honestly.
Yeah,
really good card.
Callista leveling up, the challengers. There's just value all over that card. That's beautiful.
Always.
It's a beautiful card.
Yeah, that card's helped me so much against Demacia in terms of just getting those challenge minions to deal with things, to get them off the board so that you're like, haha, you're Bannerman, he buffs nothing! But it's just, whenever you can do that, it's amazing. So, yeah, solid card.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of ephemeral decks. I've played against maybe like 5-6 ephemeral decks in the past couple of days. It's kind of strange. And that card's been in there. Yeah, I lost to one of them. And yeah, that card beat the crap out of me with Nethergrade Collector on the board.
I think the ephemerals don't really get a good mention in terms of people don't really like them because they're like, oh, the second that you play it, then they die afterwards. But the ephemeral deck, if it's played well, is really good because it's not about the fact that you are going to be losing those minions. You get attack in a way that forces your opponent to have to make the trades, and so then you just throw out something like Harrowing, or if you've got like a Hecarim as your champion, and you're laughing, in all honesty. So it's a really solid deck when you get to work.
That's how they're built. Ephemerals are overstated because they die. Sorry, we tangented. Go ahead.
Nah, you guys are good. I like the tangents, bro. It makes for an amazing podcast, fam. It would not be an amazing podcast if we did not tangent.
Squirrel.
All right. Least favorite card. It's a Noxus card. Reckoning.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. When that comes out, you just not expect that.
Oh my goodness. They will have 155 on board. I'll have a whole board of stuff. I'm like, alright, they don't got it, right? Play a Callisto. Reckoning.
I have a reckoning story from this past week.
Be hella tight.
I've been playing my pirate deck, and I plundered or nabbed, excuse me, the Harsh Winds, and it went down to 4 mana because I had 2 Black Market Merchants on board, and he had 2 Yetis on board, and my board was full of tiny followers, and he dropped the Reckoning, and I was like, Frostbite.
Nice.
So funny, dude. Oh man, I loved it. I gave him the fizzy emote because I just bought it.
Nice.
Damn. Yo, I know he was upset. Definitely. He's like, damn, he just took my Frostbite and used it on me.
Uh-huh. Get wrecked.
Damn.
Good, kid.
Damn,
good.
So that's what you have to say to that guy? You should have played around Harsh Winds, right?
Yeah, you should have played around the Harsh Winds from your deck.
That was always the funny thing whenever you nabbed something, is that a lot of people actually play the counter to their own win condition in their own deck, and so that was always, because that was a big thing when Nab started, is that most people were drawing like a really powerful, like one of your big man cards that basically was your own counter, and so it's weird that you do. I mean, you run it for mirror matches. You run it because obviously it's a really powerful card most of the time. So you run it in deck. But it was just really funny that most times it's your own. You play your own downfall, which is weird.
You get Vengeance from Shadow Owls. You get Will of Ionia from Ionia.
Dude, anytime I played against Demacia, it's like a 93% chance that I would steal Unyielding Spirit. 93% chance.
Share with that. Chill with that.
One time I should have clipped it. One time on stream, I'm like, all right, in 2 turns, I'm gonna nab Unyielding Spirit, and I'm gonna put it on my keg.
Yes.
Deadass.
It was beautiful.
Wow. Damn. 100 IQ over here.
That's just, yes, sir.
I can't keep up, fam.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, we've been making them wait long enough. We got to talk about the new cards. We got to talk about the reveals.
Yeah, we got to get into these reveals, son.
The feelings
So,
of, you know.
So what we want to talk about first? We want to talk about the champs, or we want to talk about the regular followers and the spells? What we trying to talk about?
What do you think, Gomez?
Solid. Let's talk champs.
Champs?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So, in terms of champs, definitely they are both amazing, and it makes me want to know what the hell is going to come out of the other 5 champions.
True that.
Definitely. I mean, a lot of people have already been memeing on the fact that like a Taric is basically like a better Shen in terms of like, you're not going to see Shen any. Like, it's like, don't need him anymore. Got this lovely shiny new man with his lovely pectorals. So yeah, he's got a quite. It's a hot, like it looks on the outset like a hard level up because he has to be on board to see 7 times support and or target him. But with gems and whatnot, he can get leveled up probably quite quickly. In all honesty, with the amount of support that you're gonna, with the amount of thing you're gonna be seeing on there, I'm guessing that he's gonna level up quite quickly. And if we're talking about Lulu, like even better because of the fact that her whole thing, she doesn't even have to be on the board. Like you could just have support minions, and then she'll be leveling up, and then when you get her out, and yet again, really powerful champion, and just the spell as well, the whimsy spell. I mean, you're gonna be seeing that. You're gonna be seeing that.
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
Started about whimsy. We're on champ.
We're on
You're already
champs.
making me mad.
Hold on. We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
And her spell that she creates on her level up, the fleeting spell of basically just being able to barrier up or vulnerable one of your opponent's minions is amazing. One thing that I will say that I do find interesting about these cards and whatnot is you're starting to now see adding in the text of can't be cast in combat or as
Yeah,
a
I wanna
response
talk
to a
about that.
spell.
I want to talk about that because that's a paradigm shift in the game. That is
a very paradigm shift in the game because potentially you could be seeing cards getting nerfed to that, like in terms of like burst spell. So basically, because what that will do is that would make, say, somebody like Ezreal slightly less powerful because if your opponent immediately attacks forward, you can no longer burst spell, mushroom cloud, 2 damage continuously. So it's potentially that adding of like a text could potentially be added to cards that are currently in the game, and it's an interesting thing.
I don't think they'll do that to many cards that are currently in the game right now.
Well, there's cards which you kind of can't do it to because their whole idea is to be reactionary. So like
Exactly, yeah.
Anything that buffs stats in terms of health or attack or anything which like harsh winds and whatnot is really great like in the middle of in combat to stop an opponent from so I'm not saying those spells, but I mean like the outer line spells, as I say, so like a mushroom cloud, because there's no real apart from Ezreal, there's no real benefit to playing that in the middle of combat.
Yeah,
apart from if you're playing Ezreal.
or Teemo, like getting that cheeky level up to deny a vile feast or something like that.
True. It can be used that, but it could be potentially that's not the worst thing. Is you just play them to level him up before doing the attack.
Yeah, it's very niche.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very niche.
But it's cards like that, like little kind of like outer rim cards that don't actually like do damage or whatnot. That you could potentially see having that like that bit of text added to nerf them, just to quell Ezreal a little bit. I'm not saying that's going to quell Ezreal a lot. I mean, but I'm just saying that will just stop some of that damage that could come in potentially.
Yeah, like imagine a world where, they dropped Fury of the North's cost to 3, but they added that text in. Like, that completely rearranges that card 100%. So if I don't think they'll go down that route. I don't think so with most of the cards that are out right now. But if they did, oh my gosh, that'd be such a big change.
But going back to Taric, I mean, as Swim's already said about it, it's definitely already been a thing on the red. There is going to have to be potentially a slight change to a card or something. But if you heard about the infinite, the infinite attack that if you cast Trickster on him, then he would just keep casting it, and you would just literally just rally every single turn like continuously, and then just kill your opponent. So I'm guessing there's going to be a slight tweak somewhere there because I don't see that as being fair and balanced. But I don't know where and how you tweak that. So yeah. That's going to be the thing.
I mean, they could change how it works instead of what exactly it says. Because, like, in game mechanics, it's easier to change how a card actually works in comparison to a card than actually change the text.
What could they change it to but still keep a similar enough effect?
Thinking it's more like it could still copy, but like say for instance, it does it up to a certain limit. Like it doesn't like copy it infinitely or something like that.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who are saying they should do that with Karma. Leveled up Karma only gets 3 copied spells per turn or something like that.
Mm-hmm. That would be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, like Twisted, I know that he'd be insane if he was above it, but obviously Twisted Fate has got the thing of he can only do 3 cards per turn. He can't then throw more cards on top, and then he goes more. So actually giving them limits to like you could only copy say like twice in a turn would be like something so that you could get you get 1 or 2 rallies out of it, but then after that you can't get anything else. So it's not a continuous attack forward. So something like that. So yeah, definitely like quelling that. It's one of those things we're going to see how it goes.
I think it should be only once per turn, honestly.
Yeah, that too.
It really should only be once. I mean, obviously with Playful Trickster, it would be completely crazy to keep it like that. But by the time you have a leveled up Taric, any spell you're going to be casting is going to be incredibly strong to mimic to get free value from. So to cap it at 2, I mean, why? I mean, you have to attack to get that to happen. So it might as well just be once. Because not every list is going to be running rally effects. So
true. Yeah, no, it's true.
Like that is literally the one situation, right? Like that's the one is rally.
Yeah, no, it's only that one that's got rally in terms of you'd cast it on a minion. So yeah. No.
Yeah, and it's the only targeted rally.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe they just tweak Playful Trickster instead or something. Maybe if they wanted to fix that and keep it the same, I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, Taric's gonna be bonkers late game, completely bonkers, regardless of if they do nerf that down. His champion spell, it's like Fury of the North and Pocket Aces had a baby for 5 mana.
Yep.
+3/+3 permanently. You're like, it's 5 mana, but if you can squeeze that in, you can get some serious stats on some of the units you're playing.
Well, as well, if you're playing it on top of Taric and then he's then giving it to he's then giving it to the person next to him. So exactly. Yeah, definitely is.
And then if that supported unit has like strong keywords, Challenger, Overwhelm, stuff like that, it's gonna be. Taric's gonna be bonkers late game. Get your ruinations out, boys.
But then spell shield or whatever the hell it's called.
I know.
Yep. And then we got spell shield.
Yeah, I mean, we're swooning over all these new cards, but I mean, think about it when Bilgewater came out. Like from the beta season to Bilgewater, the game sped up. It went from 30 miles an hour or kilometers, excuse me, Gomez, to 100. The game sped up a lot, and the game's getting faster even with all the Targons cards that we're seeing, but it's also getting kind of more control-y and slower as well because of all the buffs that we're seeing and things like gems. I'll talk about gems in a bit, but I mean, Lulu. My opinion on Lulu is she's really low statted for 3 mana, and that's kind of where she's getting gated, right? And it's almost like you have to hold her in hand and build around other synergies with her to get those 3 supports ticks to level her up, against a lot of lists. So like in a vacuum, yeah, she looks crazy strong, but everything's situational. Her level up's going to get denied by decks with a lot of removal. You're playing against like Karma Ezreal or something. They put their second minion out and they're like, I'm going to get a support tick, and you just bang. You just.
I mean,
but
to be fair, like you say that, but there's quite a few. They've added support minions, and there's going to be most likely a few more added because she doesn't have to be on the board to witness it. Unlike Taric, Taric has to be on the board to witness it. So I don't really think I don't feel like you're going to really be denying the level up. I think she will be leveled up. It's just like how long she can stay on the board when she's thrown out. But yeah,
right. No, I'm just saying that that's kind of its Achilles heel is playing against decks with a bunch of removal.
Ooh.
So that's my overall opinion. I think her late game is going to be crazy. I think that if you're playing cheap units with strong keywords, I think Mogwai was saying the Chompers, the O2 with Challenger, that's going to be a strong card with that.
Oh, the Challenger minions are going to be insane. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Challenger minions, why can't I think of it? Hunters, Jaw Hunters.
Oh, Jaw
Hunters. The 4/1, you maybe we're playing Ionia Deep or something, and that which you never know. Who knows? We might get to a world where that exists, and Lulu, Nautilus.
That's going to be interesting to see whether or not they add any support cards to Bilgewater, because Bilgewater and Freljord are the only 2 regions that don't actually have any support cards at the moment. So it'd be interesting to see what they add to that.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
Imagine
or if they do.
Imagine
they might not.
They add a keyword to give the support gives deep. That'd be so crazy. It grants deep.
The support gives deep. No matter how many cards you've got, it just throws them out because you still have to deep is it's defined by the fact that you've got 15 cards on.
No, the support grants a card deep. So
so it gives a card. So okay, because obviously deep when it does activate gives it +3/+3. So you're meaning that it's going to give that to things other than sea monsters.
Correct.
Potentially. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It'll be the Bridgewater support card. That'd be something different.
Maybe.
But
No. The support card's gonna be support add. If I do damage to the enemy nexus, nab a card.
No way.
So no. Right, please.
If I strike enemy nexus,
you can't
cards.
Right, please. Don't do this.
You can't do that. No way.
It supports their archetype.
Yo, if they
suppose.
do,
Don't make my deck any better. Dude. Don't make my deck any better.
They do that. That's that'll be nutty. But all right. First, I gotta give it to Riot, bro. They nabbed on both Taric and Lulu. They made them really good and design wise for cards from League.
The flavor is on the cards that they've been putting out. I've been really feeling it.
Yep.
Really good.
They've been literally almost the exact same thing they do in League. Because Taric in League, he gives an invulnerable shield with his R, and then Lulu's basically like a support that makes them bigger and smaller. So
yep. It's
pretty much exactly the same. Mm-hmm. So I have to give that to Riot. That's pretty good design.
Yeah, I know people are memeing that Shen is out and Taric is in, but
I can see them in the deck together though, to be honest.
But Ionia finally got another card where you can you can play Shen without being forced to play him with Demacia for those other extra shields, which is really, really nice. I'd like to see some more of that in the future as well. I think Shen...
I think that he's the only real champion that forces you basically near enough what region to go with, because there's not really many regions that have barrier.
Well, besides Yasuo. Yasuo, you have to play Noxus. I've tried so many different regions with Yasuo, and Bilgewater is the only other one that has stuns, and I tried that, and it's just horrid. It's so bad.
It is true, but obviously, like I say, we are still early game in the game itself in terms of development and whatnot. So I mean, considering the fact that we've still got like another, say, rough calculation, I can't remember exactly how many cards have been shown. There's like another 60 odd non-champion cards still to be shown, about 60 odd. I can't remember exactly the number, because there's 82 or something that's coming out in the...
I believe so, yeah.
82 non-champion cards. So we've only seen like a handful of them. Then obviously in 2 months' time we're going to be seeing like another 37 non-champion cards, and then another 2. So it's one of those things where it's always going to be, any kind of card game is going to be rotating, like a kind of like who's more powerful in a manner of speaking, to be like, give them their time in the sun, and then we add cards which give this time in the sun, and so potentially you could be seeing more things which will mean that you can put people like Shen or Yasuo in different regions, because they might give some support in those things, but you never know, because at the end of the day, you still want to be giving regions identity in terms of the so this is where you go for these cards, this is when you go for these cards type thing. So yeah,
right.
But who knows? Who knows?
So we're getting 7 champions, right?
Yes. So we've got two down, 5 to go. Right.
So are some regions not getting a champion then?
Well, the other region, I mean, like the rest of the champions are most likely going to be Targon, right?
Right.
Because
so Ionia that is getting a new champ for this season.
For now, until a couple of months, and obviously another 3 champions are getting involved. So
okay. All right,
I guess they are spreading it out.
So I'm not getting a new Bilgewater champion.
No, I don't think so. You might. I don't know. Yeah, again, you don't know, but you would expect them to be launching the new region with, because how many did Bilgewater actually launch from? I'm trying to remember myself now, like in terms of
5. Every region has 5 right now.
So potentially, I mean, they might only there might only be another 4 in Targon, and there might be 1 more that might be in a different region.
Yep.
But we don't. But who knows? That's me like, who knows which way it's going to go?
So Ionia gets 6. That's not fair.
I mean, it's Lulu though. Actually, no lie. I actually like
Squirrels,
Lulu.
Man.
I actually like Lulu, honestly.
I do too.
I like Lulu.
Yeah, no, I do. We got to move on to the non-champion cards.
Oh yeah,
we do.
Yeah.
So sure. Just looking at like some of the cards that were revealed along with Taric, I kind of lumped them all together: the Gift Giver, Mountain Goat, and the Mentor of the Stones. I could see them working well. They're kind of low value on their own right now, but maybe you play like a Targon P&Z discard cycle deck as something along those lines, because you can fill your hand up with gems, and you play like Taric Vi. I know you're kind of doubling up on the tough keyword because Vi's already got it, but gems, 1 mana plus 1 attack. Vi.
Yeah, that's gonna be adding two attack to every single time. Yeah.
It's like if you've played a couple of cards and you had Vi at the start of your hand, you got 3 spell mana, you're hitting for 10 on turn 5 with Vi. You're leveling her up right away. Like, I think that's gonna be silly. Yeah, and fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, snap. I didn't even think about Vi. I forgot about her.
Everybody's forgotten about Vi. Vi sucks.
Yeah, she's about to definitely start leveling up a lot easier. Honestly.
I mean, I can definitely see that. Plus, you start throwing whirling death or whatever it is, like the Draven card in, because just literally when second that she levels up any strikes that she does when attacking.
Oh, you're doing it again, dude. You're doing it again. That's 3 regions. You're cheating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, because I said no. Sorry, yeah, that's my fault. That's my
You're
fault.
cheating. She's already got challenger, so it's you're gonna be swinging. You're probably gonna be leveling her up.
Yeah, no, definitely. I keep forgetting about the region things.
Yeah, but then you
yeah.
swing in and bam, what is it? Whimsy. No.
Yep, exactly. All the things, all of them.
Whimsy. Will. Whimsy is the new Will.
Wait, but you can't Whimsy champions though.
You can't Whimsy champions. It's only followers. So
yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
Thank God. Yo, our fizzes are saved. Our fizzes are saved, fam. They're safe.
Well, fizzes are even more safe with spell shield.
Oh, that's gonna be silly.
Oh yeah, Bastion. Oh God.
So excited. But yeah, those cards, all the gem cards, I kind of lump them together as being low value by themselves. They're gonna need synergies, obviously, to get value from them.
It's one of those things. By like, do you play a deck that's just like throws in Ezreal in there and just create a bunch of gems? But the thing of it is that you would need a lot of target the opponent's thing. But I mean, using those gems which is shards of the mountain, just fill your hand with gems, and every single one of them you're doing 2 damage to the enemy nexus with Ezreal potential. But whether or not that becomes a thing,
I mean,
that
you could just win.
It depends on whether or not there's going to be any target spells within Targon themselves. Like, obviously, because we're still waiting to see what else is going to be in there. Because it's possible, but I don't know that one. That was just a little thing that I thought I'd say, just because of Ezreal is still there and played a lot because of his abilities.
No, I think
so. Anyway, you can throw him in.
Before Targon comes out, I think they're gonna nerf Ezreal. I think they're gonna nerf.
You reckon?
Yeah.
You reckon?
I think they're gonna nerf him. Honestly.
Who's that? I missed it. I'm sorry.
Ezreal.
I think they're gonna change his skill to be more like TFs, like it's on the stack, instead of it being like him just like, oh, here's 2 damage, oh, here's another 2 damage, here's 2 damage. I think they're gonna change it to more like TF, where it's like it's on the stack.
If they're burst spells, he's going to fill up that stack really quickly, and like obviously there's only so much. So if you can fill that stack up really quickly and leave your opponent no room so that they can only use burst spells, then
what you think is like the same?
I don't see that happening personally.
Really?
I think they're just, instead of nerfing Ezreal, I mean, why not just make everything else better? That's kind of what they've been doing all along.
But I think Ezreal's like in my opinion, for Legends of Runeterra, right? I think Ezreal is like a baseline, because he is a really good champion, but he needs other things to support him. That's his whole thing. He's like, he can't do it alone. Like, of course. So him with, like, say for instance, Karma, right? That's like the best combo. Him and Karma together.
Yep.
So right now that's like the best champion combination with Ezreal, right? So in my opinion, I think Karma's not. I'm not saying Karma's not a problem, because she is, but the better card to nerf there is Ezreal, because he's always going to be a problem. I'm not saying they should nerf his damage, because then that makes him basically like a peck every turn. He's like, oh, I'm doing 1 damage. Okay. Like, I don't really care about that. Here's 20. How about that? I don't think they should nerf him to 1 damage. But I think they should make his ability, like, you can actually respond to it. Because if they make it so that you can respond to it, then it's like, okay, yeah, you're putting stuff on the stack, but I can then respond to you. Like even if they put mad spells in the stack, you still can respond with 1 spell.
I don't know. I feel like in the instance of Karma and Ezreal in the late game, if I lose to that, they've earned it, because you got to work hard to get there. You gotta keep your Karma alive on turn 10 and get there. You have to level up your Ezreal and you have to have spells in your hand, and it's not like they don't work for that. That doesn't come free. Because unless you're playing against someone that is just not pressuring you at all, because that's what you have to do against Karma Ezreal. You gotta pound it into them and pressure them and force their removal early and force them to blow cards so they have to rummage before Karma and Ezreal are both leveled up. I don't know. I hate it too. I hate it when they get there. I 100% agree, because it's really unfair that you just watch your health go down, and if it's their action and you can't do nothing and their hand is full of burst spells and double and quadrupled up inside of ages, but you got to work to get there.
It does take them a lot of work to get there, admittedly, at the moment.
I don't know how I feel about it. It sucks that when they do get there and you can't do anything, but up until that turn 10, that's all they've been trying to do, so they can't do anything either on turns 1 through 9. I mean, maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know. Hate me.
I mean, I feel like that deck. Well, I don't know if you guys have ever like sat there and actually played the deck for hours and hours, but I've definitely invested some time into it because I wanted to know how to counter it. That's how I play decks. Like I play decks just to learn how to counter them, honestly. So
dude, greasy, fast, lightning speed. You have to pound it into them. That's the way.
I mean, that is the way to beat them. But that is actually kind of a good way to learn how to counter something, because if you do play it yourself, then because it also gets you in their mindset. Yeah. In terms of knowing like when you're playing, like what they're thinking, and you see the weaknesses. You see the weaknesses. So I will say that's a really good way of playing the game to learn. Like, if there's a deck that you keep coming up against, you're like, oh, this is annoying me every single time. Try playing it. That way you'll see it from that point of view, and you'll be able to see what they're trying to accomplish. And I don't know. It's one of those things you notice the weaknesses when you're playing it more than when you're playing against it.
Yeah. You get to actually see. Okay, this is when they're probably gonna will. Okay, this is when they're actually gonna stun the card. Okay, this is when they're gonna go for the rummage. Okay, this is when you force them in position where they have to do this. Like you kind of see, and then that's when you get the ability to like read their hand. That's where it comes from, because you're basically in their head. You know what they're about to play. So when it comes to Karma Ezreal, the reason why I feel like that deck is always gonna be like a looming problem is because like Ezreal is just a card where it's either you try to stop him from leveling, or he's going to end the game. He's like Exodia from Yu-Gi-Oh! In my opinion, for Runeterra. Like, if you don't stop him, he's going to win. Like, there's been no card that came out in Runeterra like that. Other than, there's Fiora and Judgment, but that's played a lot less than Ezreal and Karma, to be honest.
I have my reasons for why that's potentially not going to be a problem, but we'll get into that a bit later. Let's get back into some of the other cards. I'll explain why later, why I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. Okay. In my opinion, it might be, because to be fair, my thing is complete conjecture, but we'll get into that a little bit later. That's okay. So, I mean, Swole Squirrel.
Oh yeah.
Swole Squirrel. I am looking forward to seeing what the hell happens with that card. That card has got so many different ways. I mean, the thing of it is that every single time it strikes, it doubles its power. So, do you put it into a deck where obviously you've got like Whirling? I mean, Nox. Okay, right, yeah, Nox. I think it's going to work really well in. Because you got the Draven Whirling Death, but not only that, you've also got Might, which will allow him to have Overwhelm on top of the fact that he's going to be doubling up his attack.
And Trifarian Drummer with a mighted up squirrel, dude, it's gonna be
just that quick attack. Yeah, no, I could see him finding a lovely place in Noxus, but it'd be interesting to see whether or not anyway. Well, you see, the thing is with Demacia, because obviously I'm guessing what you're thinking is the 6-mana spell. Judgment. Okay, yeah, no, true. Yes, no. I was thinking about the 6-mana spell where you double.
Spin to win.
You're trying to hurt somebody.
I mean, I was thinking about the 6-man spell, the Valor, whatever it is, where you give them double health and double attack. But the thing is, the thing with that is that although that's going to be really powerful, and you could probably buff him like with Judgment and whatnot, you're going to buff him like he's going to become a really buff boy. Without Might, they could just put a 1/1 in front of that and go, yeah, you can't. Yep. My old Juan. And he can't do it. He can beat the crap out of it, but he's not going to do anything. And I think as well, with the fact that you've got cards now like Whimsy that can just take him out of the game very quick. It's gonna be things like that. Because I mean, yeah, and also even a Purifier would take him down as well. Or there's actually a number of different ways that are like that it could be removed. But I want to see what happens with him. Okay, I'm just excited. Funny. I'm excited.
It's gonna be funny. I'm gonna jump right into Fey Guide off of Swole Squirrel.
Yo, I dead thought that card was fake, bro.
I know, dude. We have this Discord chat, and I on my phone I screenshotted Fey Guide, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I sent it to these two, and we the people was like, "No, that's a fake card."
It's like, yo, that's fake. There's no way that's a card, bro.
Elusives have always been a thing, and in all honesty, I don't think that card's gonna. I mean, I could be proved 100% wrong, but I don't think that card's gonna be as big a problem. Personally,
I think it's a niche card. It's very situational. I think it's gonna find a lot of its strengths with the on-hit things like Swole Squirrel. I think it's going to be really good with River Shaper. It's going to be amazing. Yep. If you are playing like that Shen Fiora deck, this card could very much give that some strength. I mean, if elusives become a problem again, you put this card into your deck, and like Fiora, like, oh, my Fiora can block now on your elusive. Some works map has been in the game since the beginning, so it's not something we haven't seen before to be able to grant elusive. But situationally, it's really strong, and I like what they're doing with Ionia overall. Is they've given Ionia a different identity with all these new cards instead of just elusives, because for the longest time it was, if you're playing Ionia, it's for elusives or for karma, and you have no board presence your board presence is either only elusives or you playing Ionia as the spell slinger support cards, like with karma and will and deny and all that. But now Ionia's got another identity to play with, and it's going to be fun. But Fey Guide with what's that card? It's got double attack. Something dragon. One of the dragon cards.
Oh yeah, the dragon card that has double attack, right?
Well, horns of the dragon or something, or something on those lines. I can't remember his exact name. I think it's something on those lines. Yeah.
Yeah, it has
That'll
double attack.
I think we're gonna see some Ionian Noxus again, and it's gonna be obnoxious.
No, I'm sure somebody's gonna make at least one deck. Like I remember, what was the name of that? I think it was just a burn. Oh, it's burn elusives.
Yep.
Yeah, I think somebody's gonna probably remake another version of that.
Whenever you see a deck like that rise, then you start to see a massive rise. Like, because obviously when that starts to rise in the meta, then you do start to see a massive rise in Shadow Isles in terms of just runations and things. Immediately, Ionia does obviously have the main counter to that deny, but you start to see a lot more of that kind of thing coming into the grasps, the Withering Whales. The heals start to come in at that point. So it'd be interesting to see what does happen. And so there's still more cards to be released. So This does look good right now, but then we don't know what those other champions are going to be, and we don't know what those other cards are going to be. So there could be complete other mysteries to what's going on right now.
There could be like an epic card where it's a unit, all elusives lose elusive until end of turn.
Oh my gosh.
To be fair, devastating. That'd be devastating.
Oh my goodness! What a way to kill! What a way to kill elusives.
Yeah, it's totally possible. Yeah, we haven't seen it yet.
I mean, imagine that they just came out with a Demacia card that cost a lot of money, but it was just purify all enemy followers for a turn or something. Just
like the spell from Hearthstone, right?
Whoa.
I'm trying to even think myself now. I mean, that's caught me off guard. Wait, which card? Which card?
Gomez, look at his face.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, the four mana. Silences all of your opponent. But that's legit. That's continuous. That's not just for the turn.
Oh really?
I think that. Yeah, no, that's continuous. And also, I think that there might have been the added thing of draw a card as well on top of that card, just to make it even more ridiculous. Just there you go. All those are silenced, but also he have a card. But yeah, no. So something like that would be very interesting in terms of just purify them for a turn, and because I think that would be. If it's going to be anywhere, I'd see it being in Demacia.
Yeah,
potentially a mage seeker card.
Yep.
Oh,
but.
Yeah, if you've casted a 6-mana spell this game, or to make it like a 9 drop or something.
Oh, you know, it'd be an insanely high drop. We're not talking about early game.
Oh my goodness, yeah. He said a 9 drop.
Hey,
it could be a big man drop.
This better be burst speed.
As well,
yeah, it'll be a play effect, yeah.
Okay.
As well in the new cards, we are seeing another lifesteal card happening for Ionia as well. So
that's a value card right there. Holy crap!
They're going to be keeping there, so even if they do go aggressive with elusive, then they still actually have even more utilities to keep themselves alive. They've already got a lot of lifesteal as it is, in a manner of speaking, with the barrier spell and the dragons, which get made off of.
When you cast
whatever the hell the one is when you do 2 spells.
Yeah. I have the dragon, yeah.
They've got a lot of life still already, so it'd be very interesting to see. So their whole thing's basically going to be attack from the shadows, then heal up. that's pretty much their identity now.
Yeah, no, I could see, actually, to bring it back to Ezreal Karma, I could see Ezreal Karma replacing Eye of the Dragon with Tasty, whatever it's called.
Yeah. Fairfolk or something, isn't it? What was that?
Yeah, Tasty Feyfolk or something like that.
Feyfolk, that's what.
Because Eye of the Dragon, you have to be casting spells, right? Like now you can drop this instead. I mean, it's a 3-drop, so you're putting it down a turn later, and you get less blockers with it. So that's the trade-off. But you don't have to be using your spells to produce this 2/1 lifesteal. You can save spells for later.
Mm-hmm.
So potentially, yeah, just
yeah.
As well, I think that another thing that needs to be pointed out is: are we going to see a deck which comprises of Taric and Zed? Because if he then gives it to Zed, and Zed then gives it to his leveled up copy, in terms of the train of giving things onwards, in terms of a thing, I'm curious to see. Exactly, the Secret Santa of Taric gives it to Zed, and Zed then gives it to his. We're obviously talking about a leveled up Zed. Zed's is one of those cards where he's quite hard to level up. Potentially with this new card of giving somebody elusive, you could make Zed elusive, and potentially that might help him get through to level up quicker. But
you still need to get 2 attacks off though, because
I know that.
Going to give elusive to the shadow. So it's something.
No, but it's potentially something that could be there if you can level up Zed and then Taric and Zed just pass the parcel with buffs or whatever spell you put on. I'd be interested to see if something happens with that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, you could throw Deathmark into that. You swing with Taric and Zed, and you take Deathmark and give the opposing champion or something ephemeral, and it just dies. And you're targeting one of your units, which helps level up Taric. So it could be a thing. But everything in a vacuum seems powerful.
Yeah.
Till we see all these other champions. Yo, I'm curious to see how the rest of these champions are gonna be. Like I feel like they're gonna come out with like Zoe and Aurelion Sol, Soraka, of course. My boy Swerve. We can't go to Targon without Soraka.
Dude, I want to see that. I want to see my concepts be at least close. At least close.
Well, we'll be seeing that, but I think as well what is very interesting is I think that we need to talk a little tiny bit very quickly about how Legends of Runeterra has gone about their whole expansion kind of thing, and by that I mean that they're already, by the looks of it, kind of getting ready for circulation. Now, circulation is not going to happen for a while. This is the reason why I said that maybe Ezreal might not be a problem, is because I don't know what they're going to do, but if you imagine, so obviously now they're introduced region, they're going to add more cards, then in another, so within that's a 6-month period. So it's then, now 2 months time, 2 months time. So basically, it's almost like a 6-month period to get an expansion out, right? Or thing. Then obviously next one's going to be starting in February. Then by the end of 6 months, you're going to have that whole the whole region, blah 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 blah, like a new region cards and sets things. Potentially, then what you might start to see as they go into the future is they might cycle regions out in terms of, because I'm trying to think how they're going to do cycling. So P and Z and something else might just get cycled out at some point, because then it takes those cards out of the pool, and you start. I mean, there will then be most likely a wild or something version put up where you can still use all of the cards. But I mean, in a standard game, they might actually start, like, in the future. This might just be it's complete speculation at the moment because nobody knows how they're going to do it. But potentially, they could have it where they cycle out regions when they do a cycle, and then they come back with new champions, new cards and whatnot when they cycle them back in again. I might be completely wrong with that. That's the reason why I think that Ezreal might not be a problem in the future if, say, that region gets cycled out for in the future cycles.
Maybe not even region. Maybe they'll cycle champions. I don't think they should cycle entire regions.
Well, my reason for that is because then that will be, because when cycles happen, cycles are like a big change in a game. Right. And they can reintroduce those regions. I'm not saying that they widget that region won't be completely gone out of the game, because because those cards will still exist. It's just that they will have to make like another format like Wild or something where you can literally just play every single card they've ever printed. But I just think that kind of thing really does shake up the game, because you get so used to strategies and this region does this region does this. To actually then remove them, you're forced to make other connections with the regions that you have available on standard at the time. I just think that'd be a very interesting way of them doing it, because right now, the only other way that they're going to be doing cycle is, so they do this one, the next region, and then probably like another, like 2 sets down the line, then they then go, okay, right, all of Call of the Mountain is being cycled out now. And then if you talk about cycles like that, because again, all I'm going to talk about is the way that something like Hearthstone or whatnot would do it, is that they do 3 expansions in the year, and then the cycle happens where the 3 expansions from the year before all get cycled out of standard. And I don't know whether or not they'll do that with this. I think that they'd more likely cycle a region out or 2 regions out, but that's just my opinion on what they would do. But
I mean, just personally, from what you just said, I would not like that personally, because I think I would rather be champions getting cycled, because I really love, right now I love Bilgewater. I play it in almost all of my decks that I'm on ladder with.
Yeah, sorry, you cut out on me then, so I didn't actually hear what you said.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Oh, sorry. Personally, I would hate that, because I like Bilgewater right now, and if there's an entire season where I can't even play my favorite region, I would take that personally. I wouldn't even want to play the game. Honestly, that would be really annoying to me personally. I don't know if other people would feel the same way. I'm sure there's some out there that would, but I feel like cycling champions might be a healthier way to do that, because champions are the build around in most decks. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe champions in certain cards. Maybe they'll do like Magic did with 1.5, where there's restricted cards. You can only have one of them. Stuff like that. You can't play a full set of certain cards. And I want to get with the people's thoughts on this, and then I want to tangent into something that I've been wanting to talk about with you guys since the start of this podcast.
Oh, he about to talk about. You gonna talk about emotes?
No, we're not talking emotes. No, we're not talking emotes.
All right, but nah. Honestly, I kind of agree with Gomez on this. I kind of see them rotating like regions. Like, I don't think they're gonna be like Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they like have like a ban list. I don't really see it going down like that. I see it more like they're just gonna rotate different regions, and like they'll take out, like, say for instance they take out I don't know, Shadow Owls or something like that, but then they come out with like a different region that's like it has like a few healing cards in it or something like that. Like, I could see them rotating the regions like that. Or like, say for instance they take out P and Z, but they bring in another region that's not exactly like the same, but it's like it kind of does something like the same concepts, but like its own way. I could see them doing something like that, and then making like a whole different mode where you could play with all the cards in that mode. But for like ranked and for like against like in normals, like you have to play within those rules. You have to play within the regions that they lay out or whatever. Something like that. I could see them doing that.
Well, it's the same with every card game. They have to eventually do that. Otherwise, you just end up with too many cards, and it's hard for new players to get. Because if you continuously just keep adding to the set, and then you keep adding and saying you can use everything. Number one, it stops them in terms of a creative aspect, because they have to continuously think, okay, right, these cards are in the game right now, so when we're making things, we need to make sure that we have this in mind. Mm-hmm. And it's hard for new players who are coming in because they can't, like people who've been playing it since the beginning have got the advantage of they've been in it for the longest, so therefore they've got all the cards. Whereas if you keep cycling cards at a certain point, to be fair, I'm not saying this is going to happen anytime soon. We're still in the early days of this card game being a thing, so this is not going to happen. I'm saying when this happens, my guess would be regions that they would do, and the reason for that is because if you do it by expansions, then these cards, so already you're seeing that these cards are crossing 2 regions already in terms of, like, this expansion is Ionia. At the moment, this is going to be crossing two seasons. If you're talking about Bilgewater as well, Bilgewater added cards to like everywhere. So it's easier to say that we cycle out a region entirely than going, okay, right, we're going to cycle that out. So every single card that was from that expansion, from all the regions, they're all going. I don't know. That's personally the way that I could see them doing it, because I think that it could be the easiest way for them to do it. And as I said, there will be, most likely when this gets created, a wild mode or some mode where you can still use all of those cards. So if you own them, you still have the ability to use them. It just won't be on the ladder, and it won't be in normals, as you say. It'll be a specific mode. And to be fair, the same as with something like Hearthstone, or I don't know how it works in other games, but there is still actually what is called the wild ladder. You can play wild decks, so decks that have every single card in the game. You can play that, and there is actually its own separate ladder for wild ladder and standard ladder. So, I mean, it's a potential, and we're talking way into the future because there's still early days. But I just think that's something which is interesting to talk about, because you've seen how they're laying out expansions now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I want to discuss something for the future talks as well. So, do you think that? All right, this is two-parter. Do you think that in the future they will release skins for champions?
Yes.
Do you think that I would be able to play Pulsefire Ezreal and put him on the board? And the second part of that question is, do you think that those skins are going to be a rework of that champion? Like this I know this is a tornado that's going to go because there's a lot that they could do with that concept. But it could also be it's a good way for microtransactions to come in. People are going to buy the champion skins that they want because they look really cool. That could be one way, that they increase their revenue and keep their game going. And another way is, like I said, if those champions do something kind of similar to what the baseline champion does, but just a little bit different,
Right. One thing I'm going to say about that is I love the idea of it, but what my opinion on this would be that you'd pay for it. You'd pay for them to change the skin of the card if you want. Like I said, you can change between it, but I don't think that should make the card work anymore.
No, yeah. Two different scenarios. I'm saying two different scenarios. So, in scenario 1, it's a microtransaction that's just cosmetic. And then in scenario 2, you can buy that champion skin with shards or wild cards, and it plays differently. So that way nobody has an advantage over somebody else by, pay to win. So that just to clear that up. Now,
I like the idea, but I don't think that they should change how the card works itself in terms of, even if it's minuscule. What I would be on board with is, so you change the skin, but you paying to change that skin changes the flare, changes the animation. So the actual result is the same. Yeah. The result is the same, but the animation changes, so it makes it look cooler. So it's like, look, I pay me. Look at this cool stuff that I'm making happen right now in terms of doing that. So I'm on board with that, but I'm not on board with them actually changing how a card would actually function in terms of its wording, personally.
I mean, but I don't know. I think it adds a lot of different possibilities into the game if they were to do something like that. Say, for instance, if for Ezreal, they made it so that he does 1 damage and heals 1 damage or something like that.
Yeah, there's something different because I dropped out of
like that.
I dropped out of the magic scene for a while, but I still kind of paid attention a little bit, and I know that Planeswalkers started coming out, and there was the same Planeswalker but different. He had a different title, and he did something differently. So it's the same guy in the lore, right? Mm-hmm. But he does something a little bit different, and it just could be, maybe years down the line when, they've gotten, 100 different champ cards in the game. But, Ezreal's gotten a little stale, or, this card's gotten a little stale. So let's re-release in a way, it's a spin-off of that champion. Mm-hmm. And it could be something,
But I could see the skins being in the near future.
Oh, I want that. I want that so bad.
To be honest, I could see your idea about the skins. I could see that in the near future. Honestly, after maybe another 2 expansions, they're like, oh guys, you know what else we have? We have skins.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that.
I've got no problem. with them doing that and changing the animations. It's to me, whenever they change card text, because you are then starting to get to the point of it is almost pay to win. Because I know that you're saying we can do it with the in-game shards, we can do it with the in-game wild cards, but at the same point, so you're making somebody have to use that basically twice if they want to get Ezreal in his normal state and then also get him in his tweak state, and you're having to do that 3 times for each of you to say, because if they were going to do it like that, then it's I don't know.
To be fair, it's the same thing as releasing a new champion for that region. I'm just saying, down the line, all the regions have a bunch of champions. It's a way to keep something of an identity with a champion card, but just freshen it up a little bit. It's literally the same as releasing a new champion. In my weird world.
That's why I think that they would do that more through cycling. Personally, because once you cycle out somebody or a champion and that, then you could always recycle them back in again and then change change how they work a little bit in the recycle. While I don't know. That's what I'd say.
I mean, we're looking so deep in the future right now.
Yeah, massively.
We're literally we're talking 2022. We're talking so far in the future right now. But
Well, then
I
that's
could,
not so much for the
see.
skins idea.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say. I don't
Like
I
they
think
can
this,
drop that now, and it's cosmetic, and just here's my money. Here you go.
So that's what's gonna make you buy. That's what's gonna make you buy.
I got
we
2,000
need
coins waiting.
skins.
I got 2,000 coins waiting for me, bro. Or 2,350. I'm waiting for Target to give me that sweet mountainy board.
I mean, for the amount that you do have to pay for these things, I do like the fact that they're now starting to get to the point when you buy a board, at least you can interact with that board. Interactive boards are also just that's if I'm putting my money in, I expect that. Like that should be from the start. I don't mind having to pay for emotes and whatnot, just because again that's just a little added cosmetic thing and whatnot. Oh yeah, exactly. It's like
Oh, that's
the magic word. But I would have no problem with them paying for skins. Then as you're paying for that skin, it not only makes the card look different, but it makes his the card still functions though, but the animation is just slightly different in line with however you've I'd be happy with that. Because the thing of it is, at the end of the day, if you're paying for that, then you're expecting that the voice lines and whatnot to be changed as well. So the voice lines to be in. So it would take them time and effort, for them to actually change all the voice lines again, for that to change the animations and that. So I would expect to pay for that, and I'd have no problem with it. Because then again, it's one of those things where it doesn't. It's personal preference. If this is what you want, then you're going to put the money into to do it because they've gone to the effort to do it, and there will be people who do that. But then, if you don't want to, or if you're one of these people who, there's always going to be people who are going to complain about something like that. It's going to be like, I'm free to play, and I want to have this, but I can't have this. And it's like, well, when you look at the amount of effort they put into it, and it's a free to play game anyway. I mean, you got to give them something, man.
I mean, in my two scenarios, I think the cosmetic idea is far more likely to happen, and I think it's probably better and more healthy for the game. If they were going to go with one or the other, but I want skins. I think that's going to be so sweet. Sweet. And it would most likely just be like the epic skins from League of Legends, like legendary skins, like Pulsefire Ezreal or I don't know. That's all I can think of right now.
I know we got I know Elise has a Victorious skin.
Yep.
That would be cool if she had a Victorious skin.
I actually have that one.
So
Gomez, wait. Me and this guy right here, we played the League of Legends together last week. We had a good time.
Yeah.
I was having disconnecting problems in Runeterra on my stream, and I messaged this guy on Discord. I'm like, dude, come play some ARAMs with me or something. Yeah, we lost.
But you gave it a good go, right?
Oh, we tried. We tried our best.
Yeah, he was playing Lux, blowing people up. Let me teach you a magic trick.
Look, I in terms of League, I have not played it a lot. The only hero I started to get used to was Draven. that was the only.
Yo, Draven's one of the hardest champions.
No, but he was the only one I got used to, and the reason was because it was just I found he's one of the most hilarious champions because obviously you keep doing the thing, getting his axes, so you keep juggling with his axes, and then you level him up, and then you basically somebody goes, "Oi, over here, there's somebody running away." Then you go, "Oh, do you mind if I ask you a few questions?" As you throw the axes across the map, and then I mean, it's amazing because his ult goes the whole way across the map. I loved it. It goes twice because it comes back. So I'm not saying that I'm a best Draven player. I'm just saying I enjoy out of all the champions, he was the one I enjoyed the most. Him and Brand, I think it was. Brand was the other one, fire everywhere. But yeah.
we gotta get a game in, guys. All together.
That's gonna be hard to do.
Oh, yeah.
Either one of us or two of us are gonna be lagging our heads off.
Yeah, definitely. The ping will be insane. Most likely my ping will be insane, let's face it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta wrap it up though.
Yeah, wrap it up.
All right.
Put a bow on it.
Stick it.
So we definitely talked about a whole bunch of stuff today. Talked about them spoilers. Oh goodness.
And there's more coming.
There's more. Yeah, there should be.
There's so many more coming.
I think.
Yeah.
What they're gonna continue the spoilers on Monday, probably, right?
Well, so we're recording this on the 15th. Most likely, the guess is that Zoe's going to drop this evening. Most likely.
Oh, really?
Mm.
People have said that Zoe's going to drop this evening because of the fact that they showed the elephant in the most recent one, because there was like a portal behind it and whatnot. So at the start, elephant's got. So it's the predicted thing that we're going to see. Okay. Zoe this evening, but whether or not we do or not,
okay,
complete conjecture.
I'm looking for whatever spoilers they give us. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah. So you had a good podcast, guys.
Good times.
We'll be back next week, same time.
Yep.
All right, guys. Peace out.
Good day.
Were we not going to do the plugs?
I mean, to be honest, I put them in the description. I put
just look down there.
All of our all of our links is in the description. Just
Indeed.
Don't forget to smash that like button.
click the like button. Yo, you gotta comment. Leave your comments below. Subscribe. Click the links. That's it, guys. All right.
Indeed.
All right, we out. Later.